resolved that the board reconvene the public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in public session. We don't have a student representative report this evening, and I have a kind of brief president's report. So Piscataway Summer Camp. Approximately 500 kindergarten through grade 8 Piscataway students are currently attending our summer camp at Piscataway High School. The camp runs for 8 weeks, and campers attend for 4-week, 6-week, or 8-week sessions. The day is divided into morning classes in arts and enrichment and afternoon classes in more traditional camp activities. Fridays are always reserved for field trips to venues such as the Bronx Zoo, Luna Park, and Liberty Science Center. The arts and enrichment activities run in 2-week cycles, and students take 2 90-minute classes per cycle. This year's arts classes have been particularly exciting, as noted by the show of students that are taking drama, music, and dance, and they're putting together for their parents performances at the end of each cycle, which is pretty exciting. Also very popular this year is Mad Science, and it's keeping kids engaged in our STEM activities. In the afternoon, campers swim, they play outdoors in all kinds of activities, including camp wars, friendly rivalries between camp groupings, and they see performances and workshops that are brought into the school. Any one of you and our community as well can see what goes on at summer camp on the district's Facebook page at Peeway Schools. Any questions about that? Where are they swimming, Teresa? Where do they go swimming still?
Rivercrest.
Rivercrest. What's that? When they're
Oh, they also
Winwood.
swim
Oh,
at
Winwood is-
Rutgers. in
Rutgers.
I thought they
Rutgers
swim
and
at Rutgers
closed.
and River Closed. Okay, okay. Winwood closed. Okay, all right. The Jump Ahead program. The Jump Ahead program held at Shore and Grandview schools is Piscataway's summer academic program designed to prepare students for the upcoming school year. The program offers both academic assistance and academic enrichment for Piscataway students. The invitation-only academic assistance program focuses on strengthening areas in need of improvement and enrolled 375 K through 8 students this summer. Offered free of charge, this program targets students' specific areas of academic weakness with a combination of digital learning and direct instruction. The academic enrichment program enrolled 322 students in grades 6 through 11. This program allows students to sample course materials, including honors and AP classes, to either get a head start or see if the class is right for them without any academic consequence. SAT prep courses are also offered. In the arts, our students continue to perform during the summer, participating in 4th of July sing-along at the Mettler Bodine House Museum. The student performances were beautiful, from the Randolphville students to the PHS Tri-M students and the choir members to the presentation of the colors and national anthem by the PHS Air Force Junior ROTC. Our students offered their talents, time, and energy and provided an engaging sing-along for our Piscataway community. Also currently happening at the high school is Tuesday night band rehearsals have begun, so they are there every single Tuesday night from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, preparing by learning music at this point, which then will flow right into band camp, which will be from the 25th all the way through the 31st, I think it is, I don't remember the date, of August. So the students are practicing on a regular basis at this time. The other thing I wanted to mention to everyone, I wasn't at the last meeting. I thank our Vice President, Mr. Stern, for conducting that meeting. And I wanted to share, I'm not sure if we talked about graduation, but I just wanted to say thank you to the administration. Graduation was really nice this year, for lack of a better word. I really appreciate it, and I appreciated everybody coming in regalia. I think it gave a different tone. I think that we are setting the tone and the culture moving forward for how we see how critical academia is to our students, and I think that even from the perspective of listening audience-wise, it was much appreciated, the feedback that I got from families as far as the movement and the flow of things at graduation. So just thank you to everyone for participating in that yet another year. And that's all that I have.
Thank you. I think that those who frequently watch our board meetings know that we like to celebrate what happens in Piscataway, but I also would like to celebrate a lot of the good news for children that is true in New Jersey. I think we in Piscataway have much to be proud of, as well as those of us who live in New Jersey. And the reason I am citing that is an organization called Save the Children, which is an international non-government organization. Out of all the states in this country, ranked New Jersey as the best place to raise children. There were a number of different measures, child violence, malnutrition, adolescent births, high school dropouts, and infant mortality. And out of 50 states, New Jersey ranked first, edging New Hampshire. New Hampshire was always first. It's not to say that things are perfect, because within those high rankings, you still find racial disparities in our communities. But as a whole, New Jersey ranks well. The United States as a whole doesn't. As you all are aware, many developed countries provide free childcare leave, they have free preschool, a number of other things. But in terms of good schools and family services and access to medical care, I think we have a lot to celebrate here. In terms of our own educational programs here in New Jersey, once again, I think our schools keep measuring up. You know, by whatever measure or study is done, New Jersey always ranks the second or the third, the most recent, and sometimes the first in the nation. But most recently, we are looking at NAEP scores, and NAEP tests are, let's see, it's the National Assessment of Educational Progress, but it's administered to about 2,200 students annually, and it seems like one of our schools always participates every year. We are having to give, these are tests given in the 4th or the 8th grades, and whether it's our intermediate or one of our middle schools, our students always have to take these tests in addition to the PARCC tests. And again, we are saying that New Jersey scores are again at the top of the national ranking. So I think that it's cause for us to celebrate here that what we're doing at those grade levels is really showing in a number of different areas. New Jersey is also one of the few states still giving the PARCC exams, because most other states have given it up. The consortium that was originally formed no longer exists because so many states have given up PARCC exams. However, New Jersey knows that it's still a rigorous test, and we've been sticking to it, and our students are performing reasonably well. We recently received our PARCC scores back. They're being analyzed. Dr. Anelli is going to be making a report next week on what test scores look like, but our students are holding their own even when other states have just thrown the test out. So I think that there's enough to celebrate. Again, not to minimize the achievement gaps, and we are certainly working rigorously towards trying to close those gaps, but I think there's a lot to celebrate. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Teresa, those are from the Home News Tribune, right? Or in the Star Ledger? Home News Tribune?
Both? Yeah,
Yeah.
both. Mhm.
June and April, right?
Yeah, they both were in your,
So New Jersey
sent
is
to you
usually
electronically,
always
yeah.
second. Is it still like Massachusetts, this number one,
see, there's always Massachusetts or
or
Connecticut.
Connecticut? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Sometimes we're first, sometimes they're
Something like
first, yeah. But in the quality of life for children, New Jersey ranked first in the nation.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
As the board may be aware, every summer we traditionally hold what we call leadership camp with all of the principals and supervisors. It's between 40 and 45 people, and those comprehensive days will take place next week from 8:30 in the morning till about 4 in the afternoon. I bring it to your attention because we will be talking about the state of the district in terms of student achievement, in terms of finance, in terms of other progress and what needs still exist. We'll be spending an afternoon with, led by Dr. Deborah Dawson, to try to assist us in implementing the teachings of Dr. Robert Brooks. He's the expert in social emotional learning that we have brought to the district twice. She's going to be talking at a more practical level, how we're going to implement this in our buildings. We're going to be talking about the Marshall evaluation system, which is the management, the evaluation system that we use for principals and supervisors. It's been in place for 1 year. So Kathy will be facilitating a conversation on what needs to change. We'll talk about our new safety officers and security improvements. Mr. Rubin spends a morning with them, and he will be focusing on conducting student and staff investigations, and some other things. What are relationships between the schools and the Haven? And we also are going to spend an afternoon on various roundtables so that principals and supervisors can go where they think they best might have their time spent. So we may be talking about homework in the elementary schools. What's its purpose? Should it be graded? What's the content? What about compliance? We'll be talking about PLCs. We'll be talking about how we can build buy-in into, how teachers can build buy-in into our strategic vision, some of the changing demographics. All of those things will take place on one of the afternoons. So it's a little bit shorter. Last year we did 3.5 days. This year we will do 3 full days, and that'll be taking place next week. And then finally,
That's next week.
yeah, next week.
Wow.
Yeah. So if anybody needs to get in touch with us, it won't be between 8:30 and 4. It'll be
23rd, 24th,
before and
25th.
after, yes. Mhm. Yes. And finally, I just wanted to mention that we have made some progress towards the process, scheduling our next strategic planning meetings. The president and I will be meeting in August with our representative to map out, our school board's representative to map out the dates. She recommends that we build a lot of support for a strategic planning committee at our back-to-school nights. We'll be making some announcements there. And from therein, she will do an information workshop. So say 100 people decide they want to be part of strategic planning. She will do that initial meeting to kind of explain what the process will be. From there, there will be 3 sessions. You'll recall we said we wanted the 3D model. And those 3 sessions will take place 4 to 5 weeks apart, and we'll focus on what are some of the strengths and challenges the district faces. The second one, we will develop a common vision, and at the third one, we will develop our strategic goals, which should see us through the next several years. And then following the adoption of strategic goals, we will come up with an action plan to meet those goals. So we hope to have the process completed by early January, and we'll be coming back to you in August with more information about when the the 3 meetings will be held.
Just the August 6th?
No, that's our retreat. We might touch on it just a little bit, but we will not have even met with her at that point, probably.
Right.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about,
When she and I meet, it's only to put the schedule
Right.
together for the fall.
yeah, we'll be looking at maybe the end of August, right? Or
Yeah.
even September to actually have, for us to meet.
Superintendent Rafferty, you mentioned we did get the 3D model, but did we kind of get the à la carte, or?
Yeah,
We did, we
She worked something
negotiated
out.
the price
All
on
right,
the à
okay.
la carte info session.
There's a little negotiating.
It
All
came
right.
back a little overpriced,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they'll work with us, so.
Thank you.
We will do that because, again, you want to make sure that the core that's going to be part of this committee really understands what the process is and what their role is going to be. Yeah, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments? All right. Item number 8, Personnel and Labor Relations, Ms. Deepan.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through D be approved as presented.
Second.
Okay, as there's no discussion on personnel, matters pertaining to personnel, Mr. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Nazir?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Okay, item number 9, approval of minutes. Dr. Nazir?
Be it resolved, the following minute be approved as submitted. Business meeting June 28, 2018, executive session meeting June 28, 2018.
Second.
Do we have any additions or corrections to either the business meeting or executive session of June 28, 2018? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comments from the floor. Do we have anyone in our audience who would like to share their thoughts with us this evening? All right, do I have a motion to close public?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item number 11, fiscal planning and operations, Dr. Connors.
Be it resolved, the following motions identified as items A through D be approved as presented.
Second.
Do you have any questions or comments on item number 11?
Just one, on C and D, approval of classroom compliance requirements for Our Lady of Fatima, and D for St. Francis of Green. That's for Children's Corner, correct? Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, can we call the roll, please?
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Nazir?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 12, policy, oh, we don't have anything
We don't
on
have
policy, okay. So, item number 13, curriculum,
I got it.
what's that?
I'll do it.
Mr. Johnson, yes.
Be
Read my mind.
resolved that the following motions identified as items A and B be approved as presented.
Second.
Do we have any questions or comments under items A or B? Seeing none, can we call the roll, please?
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Nazir?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 14, pupil services, Mr. Johnson again.
Be resolved that the following motions identified as items A be approved as presented.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments related to item A? Seeing none, can we call the roll, please?
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Nazir?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 15, administrative and auxiliary, Ms. Cherry.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A and B be approved as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, can we call the roll, please?
Dr. Nazir?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
All right, item number 16, we had no committees meet, correct? All right. So we'll move to item number 17, which is new business. Do we have any new business this evening?
Looking at me.
Well,
I just had something quick to say, is that New Jersey School Board Association, somehow they got my name again, and now I've been named to the New Jersey School Board's Bylaws Review Ad Hoc Committee.
Somehow,
Ooh,
somehow,
that ought to be fun.
somehow.
when does that start, Tom?
It's gonna be starting in the fall. It's gonna be a process. They have a handbook, the director's handbook, and we're just gonna be reviewing the entire handbook and whether things are still relevant. and
Are they
committees.
revising it?
What?
Like, is the
Yeah, they're
intent to
gonna be
revise
this is what you get when you're on the board of directors for the New Jersey school boards. And basically, we're just gonna be going through this whole thing and revising and updating the whole
Pretty
thing.
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Something to do.
In your spare time.
With kids' spare time.
Rather a question for Dr. Manelli.
Sure.
In terms of iPad distribution, I know we have another one coming up August 1st at Martin Luther King, but for all the new parents, I know it's kind of new. Is there going to be more, distribution or anything is about, especially like logins? Only reason I addressed you because your name was in the last.
That's okay. That's okay.
Poor Colleen.
Yeah.
It's not distribution, it's just a parent information night for anybody that missed, and for the King family. King's School in our
because that's why I saw the way it read. It was like distribution, information meeting. I was like, uh-oh.
It's information about how it's gonna work for the rising sixth graders.
And lastly, will there be any information in terms of, I know Chris does a really good job about actually signing on, getting your ID. 'Cause I get that question quite often. How do I sign up for my Apple ID and all?
There's not gonna be Apple IDs, not gonna be needed anymore, the way the district is we are going to load, items for the children, so they won't require the
that's
ID.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and at a certain age, they'll get it back, but by that time, the iPads they'll be going on to, high school.
It's actually excellent,
That's excellent.
only because they will not be able to use that Apple ID. That's always a little bit
Right,
of
so
a,
one of the bigger
yeah.
flaw, issues with the iPads was that, number one, the Apple IDs, and number two, when they have their own Apple ID, they could download anything.
That's right.
they want.
Yes.
And so Apple addressed that by allowing districts, to push down Apple IDs and only push and pull the apps that they want. So we're hoping that works as seamlessly
excellent.
as it sounds,
Sure.
But that's the plan.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so it's essentially like our own server, basically.
Yeah,
Have been.
so they'll be able to get on it at home.
Right.
They'll be able to get on it, Wi-Fi at home, and
Right, right,
everything they have to do, but only the apps that'll be
Yeah.
necessary that we allow are put on the machines.
Yeah, that Apple ID is tricky because in just one touch, you're buying something.
Right.
And if they have that Apple ID, and they can use it for multitudes of
So
things.
it went from, having a normal Apple ID that, in the beginning, so let's say 10 years ago, where you had to attach a credit card.
Right.
Then they evolved to where you didn't have to attach
Right.
a credit card, it was free, so you couldn't make any in-app purchases. So now, with the constraints that districts are having, they went further and said, well, we'll allow you, to be able to push down these Apple IDs and
Awesome.
load and
Great.
unload whatever you want.
Awesome.
Good question.
Great. And
Social media, bye-bye.
Right.
Great. And Teresa, you guys have done also a wonderful job with Schoology. I think many more people are starting to get on board and understand it. I love this year the option of adding different children to the same Schoology account instead of having multiple ones. I mean, again, awesome, Colleen, great.
Chris Sarvando's been.
Yeah, Chris does an excellent job putting it out there,
I'll
Mr.
nod for him.
Teresa, if I could add, for
Yeah.
Schoology, from last year to this year, we had 3 million page view increases from last year to this year.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tool.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And also, want to know, are they going to still do in the intermediate schools, the Remind? Because that worked really well, but I know we're trying to push towards Schoology, so.
So Remind is an app that teachers choose to use. We're not saying as a school they have to.
Okay.
So if teachers are savvy enough and they like that aspect, or a coach likes that aspect, they'll be able to use that. But
Okay.
we're not saying that they have to.
So that's just an additional.
It's very handy for parents. That's one.
Yes,
that,
oh.
Reminds from all over the place. It is handy, but it gets to be overwhelming. But yeah,
It is
Yes.
overwhelming.
yeah, it's a lot. I mean,
The high school uses it quite often,
Yeah, yeah.
and it is overwhelming in that they may be getting reminds on a daily basis from multiple classes, and all of their assignments are there. I get it, but it's a little bit much sometimes for the parents. But yeah, a lot of folks are using it. We even used it on the band trip this year, where folks were kind of getting numbers and trying to coordinate. I was like, why don't we just use Remind for our pods of students? And it's being used all the way up to the universities.
And it's also a safe way for teachers to communicate
That's
with
right,
parents.
without any responses, so that's good.
Great job, guys.
All right, any other new business that anybody would like to share? No? Okay. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Better than 10 o'clock.
Yeah.